All right, we are live in beautiful sunny Florida, and today, fight fans, we're going to be breaking down UFC Vegas 27 Font versus Garbrandt in the bantamweight division. That's a pretty damn sick main event, man. Two of the best boxers in the division. Both guys coming off huge wins too. Like Garbrandt got his confidence back. Highlight real KO over a Sunsao who's been in the top 10 in the division for how long? Like huge win. And then, Rob Font coming off the win over Marlon. Great win. Like, it's going to be sick to see these guys pair up. It's lined to dead pick 'em. Like, great fucking main event, man. As far as the rest of the card, I mean, it's all right. We can't complain too much, right? It's a free card. Zhaonan in the co-main event against Carla Esparza. Not a lot of hype for that fight, but I mean, skill wise, guys, we're talking about two top five and probably the best women's division there is. So great fight. Tafa versus Vandera. It might not be the most skill filled fight, but it's gonna be exciting, that's for sure. You got guys like David Vorak on the card who I'm very high on. Some really fun matchups like Yancey versus Damir Hadjovic. I feel like that's got fun written all over it. I got 3 bets on this card so far. I might be done, I might not. We'll see what happens. But without further ado, we're gonna break down the whole card from a betting perspective, and then we'll get on to the Draftkings salary. So let's do it. We got Damir Ismagulov. He's the biggest favorite on the card. He's taking on Rafael Alves. Damir Ismagulov you can find at minus 550. So yeah, he's finally coming back, taking on Rafael Alves here. We saw Demir last time against Thiago Moises. That's how long it's been, man. August 2019. It's a shame it's been so long because I'm pretty high on the guy. Demir is extremely skilled. He's not like the most super exciting. He doesn't take the most chances, but he's so damn well rounded. He's such a good point fighter. Like he's going to be a guy that's really hard to beat, and I understand why he's minus 600 here. It's kind of weird matchmaking. Like I don't know why we're taking big steps backwards from Thiago Moises here now to Rafael Alves. I don't know. Maybe it just has to do with the layoff. Either way, yeah, this is the biggest mismatch on the card. It's lined appropriately. If anything, you could probably have Demir minus 1,000. So I got to go with him. It's kind of just more of a question of is he going to win by finish or decision? He's been kind of more of a decision machine, but man, I'm kind of thinking he might be able to finish this guy just because of how much better he is. And I'm sure he's so hungry to get back into the octagon. So, yeah, if you're looking at Damir Ismagulov wins inside the distance, plus 175. So it's like you can bet on this minus 550 guy to win inside the distance at plus 175, like big money saver. I understand he's not a finished machine, but just a prop worth looking at. I'm not betting it myself, but it intrigued me. But the official pick, I will go with Ismagulov to get a round 3 TKO here. So moving on to the next one. So I do have my first bet of the night here. We got fun fight Yancey Medeiros. He's taking on Damir Hadjovic. Hadjovic, he is a slight favorite, minus 130 now. I moved in 3 units on minus 120 on Demir. Basically, I just think, it's hard to be high on either guy at this point. However, when you think about the matchup here, and that's really what it comes down to, based on what I saw from Yancey last fight, I mean, man, he's just taken a lot of damage. He's not quite as fast as explosive. He can't take a shot quite as well. He's just real shop worn, and it's a shame because he gave us so many amazing wars, but they all kind of caught up to him, and it's really it's not looking good. Let's just say that. Demir, he does pack some power. He's not the most athletic, explosive guy in the world either, but he's pretty technical. He hits pretty hard. Like I can confidently favor Demir Hadjovic on the feet here, durability wise, and just if it happens to go the distance, I would see him being the guy probably throwing more volume, landing the harder shots. So I favor Demir on the feet. Obviously, Demir has a huge hole in his wrestling and ground game. However, that's not what Yancey Medeiros does, guys. You look back at his very, very long UFC career. He's only landed one takedown. wrestling is not what he does. Yancey comes, he stands, he bangs, he has wars. Although the last one wasn't too much of a war, it was kind of just like a shit show, to be honest. But yeah, honestly, if anybody could land takedowns here, it might be Demir. We've seen Demir, like, I know he has a hole in his defensive grappling, but we saw him come out with takedowns. That was against Polo Reyes and smashed him. So I mean, don't count out Demir being the one to land takedowns here. So yeah, I kind of feel like at minus 120 there was a little bit of value. I think you could line him around 60%, maybe even 65. So minus 150, minus 175 range, like, got no problem with that. I understand if you don't want to bet Demir. He's not the greatest fighter in the world, and you're paying juice. I get it, but I like it. I feel good about it here. So my official pick, I'm gonna say Demir touches that chin somewhere towards the middle of the fight. I'm gonna say Demir second round KO. So moving on to the next one, this is a good one, man, and I like this matchmaking. We got Josh Culibao. He's taking on the newcomer Elon Shaw. Culibao, they've done no favors with this guy. They had him fighting Jalen Turner, and then they gave him Charles Jourdain. All right, now we give him a newcomer. This is more of a realistic fight. But like the thing is, I don't want to fucking spend the what is he minus 250 on Culibao here. Like, I don't think he's the greatest fighter in the world, and I do think this fight actually could be competitive. Like I realized I stuck fucking Culibao with the Wolves, but like, is he that great? I don't think so. Like, his striking's all right, I guess, but I'm just not particularly high on him. You could even say this Chinese dude has a higher ceiling here. It's just Culibao already has that UFC experience, fought really, really tough guys, and he probably should be able to outstrike Yilan Shah here. So I'm gonna go with Culibao. I don't know if he's gonna look the minus 250 that he sits at, but I'll go with him to take a unanimous decision. So moving on to the next one. So we got our second bet here, and this happens to be my biggest bet of the night, and I got in on an early line, and I'm real happy with it. So we got Bruno Bulldog Silva. He's taking on Victor Rodriguez. Bruno Silva, he is the second biggest favorite on the card. He is minus 340. I went ahead and smashed Bruno Silva, wins inside the distance. I got the opener on that at plus 125. I put 4 units on it to win 5 units. I'm pretty confident Bruno comes out here, gets the finish, whether it's a knockout or a sub. Neither would surprise me. Probably knockout, just because, that's how we just saw Victor defeated last time. Granted, it was against Yanez, but hey, I mean, he got that chin touched. I mean, we're not getting too much of a step down here with Bruno, in my opinion. Like, man, Bruno's paid his dues. Like, I know this is only like his fifth UFC fight, but tough matchups. Finally scraped through with the big win last time. I shouldn't say scraped through. He destroyed old South Africa there. JP Bay is like, damn, dude, that was a very, very good performance. He showed above average power, in my opinion. He always has. Like, he is a hard hitting flyweight. He's got some jujitsu too. Victor Rodriguez, I mean, I faded him against Yanez in that fight. Like, yeah, you're damn fucking right. I paid the juice on Yanez against Victor Rodriguez there. It was just, yeah, I mean, Victor comes out of the Alaskan scene, and we all know about that. It's not very high level. He's no spring chicken either. Nothing I see out of his skill set is all that great. I'm kind of not really sure why he got the UFC call. It might just be because of the times we were in. They needed a guy, and he was ready. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird matchmaking once again, but I gotta go with Bruno to get another big win here. I think he gets the finish. Plus 125. Now let's see, what is it now? Bruno wins inside the distance. It's minus 130 now. So the line flipped. I feel good about getting in on that one. I tipped it on Twitter. So if y'all aren't following me on Twitter, I mean, I tipped it while the line was still there. So make sure you're following me on Twitter to catch my bets. So I'm gonna go with Bruno by knockout in round 2 as my official pick. So moving on to the next one, we got Claudio Silva. He's taking on Court McGee. Line's pretty close. Slight favorite, Court McGee. I kind of get it why he's the slight favorite. Just kind of a matchup thing. Like both guys, in my opinion, they're old, they're slow. Court's probably a little more washed just because he's had a lot more fights, took a lot more damage. However, we know Claudio. He's a great BJJ guy, like high level grappling. But the thing is, not only has Court McGee never been submitted, um, like he's got decent wrestling. Like he can stuff. Like even in that fight against Sean Brady, he got taken down a couple times, got right back up. I mean, if Claudio Silva isn't able to get Court McGee to the mat, like it's going to become a very, very close fight and one where I think Court McGee has the more technical boxing. I think Court McGee clearly has the better cardio. No, I don't think it's a complete squash on the feet for Court McGee. I think Claudio Silva, he throws big power. Like he'll be throwing more powerful shots. If he hurts Court McGee on the feet, I can't say I'd be surprised. Like he could totally fucking club and sub him. Shout out to the Club and Sub podcast. Yeah, like if he were to hurt him on the feet and then follow him to the ground, it could be done that way. Like you can totally make arguments for both guys. I'm just gonna slightly go with Court. I'm gonna say he stuffs the takedowns. Uh, survives the big shots on the feet. And as the fight goes on, he'll be the fresher guy with the more fundamental boxing. And I'll say he outboxes Claudio in rounds 2 and 3. So I'll say Court McGee 29-28 decision. Moving on to the next fight. This one, this is fun, man. We got Ben Rothwell. He's taking on Chris Barnett. Huggy Bear is in the UFC. So Ben Rothwell, he's a pretty big favorite. He's about minus 350. If y'all don't know this dude, Huggy Bear, I've known about this guy for it feels like almost a decade. Like I've been a hardcore MMA fan for a while. I watched those Japanese, Korean promotions, the regionals. I like watching regional MMA. It's a lot of fun. And Chris Barnett's a guy who's been hanging around for a long, long time. Very exciting. He looks unassuming. He just looks like a short, fat guy. Like he's 5'9". He's got the big old belly, but he's fast. He moves. I mean, he throws a lot of spinning shit. He's very entertaining, and I just don't know if that's going to work against a guy in Ben Rothwell who's, Ben Rothwell's literally been in there with a who's who. Like he might be at the very end of his career. Like he's just so slow. The reaction time's not on there. The volume's not there. Shit show fights one after another. I mean, it's not looking good for old Rothwell. However, I mean, this has got to be a favorable matchup for him. It's just, do you want to spend minus 300s on Ben Rothwell in 2021? Fuck no. It's probably a Barnett or pass situation. I mean, if Barnett just fucking moves around for 15 minutes, just throws spinning share, punches. Oh my, this fight really might be a shit show, guys. I'm telling you right now. Like, it might be utterly terrible. I think Barnett honestly really could weasel a decision here. However, he's been knocked out a few times by lesser competition. This is in short notice too. It's a tough ask, man. Like it's really hard to pick Ben Rothwell at this point, but I'm gonna pick Ben Rothwell. I'm gonna say he gets a knockout here in the second or third round. So moving on to the next fight. This is my third bet of the night. So all three of my bets so far in the prelims, it's gonna be an early sweat for me, guys. Bill Algeo is taking on Ricardo Hamos. Bill Algeo, he is minus 121. I got 3 units on minus 120. I mean, here we are breaking down this fight again. I bet Algeo last time. I got a little bit better of a line, minus 110. But yeah, I like Algeo here. I just think his volume, his pressure is going to be a lot for Ricardo Hamos. He's just bigger. His shots are going to be more meaningful as well. Like, I get Hamos has a high ceiling. He's explosive. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. He's well-rounded. He's been in the UFC since he was like 20 years old. Like I like Hamos. It's just I've seen him wilt in some of these fights, and I just think if Algeo starts stuffing takedowns or even gets back up, because I know he can, like Hamos is not the only BJJ black belt in this fight. Like even if he gets a takedown on Algeo, I think Algeo has the goods to get back up. So and just put it on Hamos on the feet, and we've seen that happen to Hamos before. He can just people can get to him on the feet, man. And I think that's what Algio is going to do here. I think Algio is getting a lot better too. Got to give this guy some credit, man. Like, he's improved a lot. The Lofnin fight, like, I think that loss against Lofnin on Contender, that actually has aged pretty well. Lofnin is, I mean, you could argue Brendan Laughlin's like one of the best guys on the regional scene right now. He's very fucking good, and that was a good fight, man. The Lamas fight, very fucking good fight. I mean, those guys put each other through hell. I think Algio's been paying some dues, and I think he's due for a very big win here. And I think it's coming against Ricardo Hamos. I think he's a rightful favorite. I think you could even line him a bit steeper, 60, 65%. So Bill Algio, 3 units minus 120. I feel great about it. Moving on to the next fight, and I believe now we're on the main card. So we got Jack Hermansson taking on Edmund Shahbazian. Hermansson is a favorite. He's minus 150, Edmund plus 130. Yeah, I mean, it's a good ass fight. Let's just say that. What's up, early weigh-in podcast? Probably a dog or pass situation. I'm pretty sure the bookies open this at a dead pick'em, and it's just been money coming in on Jack Hermansson. And like, I get it. Edmund took a big step up last time against Brunson, and let's be honest, he got worked big time. And Hermansson's got that wrestling as well. So it's like, can he do the same thing Brunson did? I mean, there's a chance, but I think Jack's going to have to go through some shit. Like Edmund, I mean, we can't just forget what Edmund was doing up until that point of the Brunson fight. The dude has big power. He's got good boxing. He's got good wrestling of his own. He's just a kid, too. So it's like, first big loss time. Maybe he bounces back better. Like, it's hard to be sold on Jack here. I totally think this is a dog or pass situation. It's just a matter of, so 3 rounds, pretty interesting. If this was 5 rounds, you'd have to favor Jack a lot more, I think. Man, this is a good fight. Like, I've stuck with Jack all week as my pick. I just think he's going to be able to get it done. Like, it's just kind of weird. Edmund takes the big step up into the top 10, gets blown out of the water, and they give him another top 10 guy. It just kind of doesn't make sense to me. But then again, we see weird shit all the time. And Edmund 1000% has the ceiling to beat Jack. It's just, did he recover enough? Did he improve enough in the off time after the Brunson fight? I guess we'll see. It's kind of just a hard fight to cap. I'm wondering if any of you guys are confident either side. Like, I get why Joker's the favorite. He's just more proven. But I kind of want to pick Edmund just because it's a dog or pass situation. But man, Jack's my Swedish boy. I got to go with him. I'll say he grinds out a split decision. I'll say Edmund has his moments, but Jack holds him down for a majority. So I'll go with Jack by split. Moving on to the next fight. David Vorak taking on Julian Piva. Close line. Dvorak minus 135. Julian Piva plus 115. I got Dvorak here. I see most people saying this is a dog or pass situation. It's going to end up being a 50-50, very close striking fight. And I get why people would say that. That is how a lot of Piva fights have gone down. The Zumagulas fight, even the Kai Kara France fight, very close. I just think David Dvorak might be special, guys. I love what I see from this dude. I love his kicks, his striking is just really sharp. He's got the power behind it too. I think this guy is just really fucking good, and I'm just not sure how much of a takedown or grappling threat there's going to be with Piva. Like, Piva's just going to give Dvorak the fight he wants, and it's really fucking hard for me to pick somebody in a striking battle versus Dvorak, who I easily think could be a top 2 or 3 striker in the division. Like, dude is just really sharp. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys clash. I think Dvorak's got the goods to dominate this one. We'll see, though. I mean, the thing with Dvorak, when I was watching tape on him, like, a lot of these guys he's fighting are kind of the shorter, stockier flyweights, and I'm just wondering how he's going to deal with Piva's height and reach. Like, that's one thing that's been on my mind that's kind of keeping me away. I just got to kind of see it to believe it because this is a bigger fight for Dvorak. I do believe Piva is a lot better than the guy he's been beating. So we'll see what happens. But I think Dvorak 1000% deserves to be the favorite. And I'm kind of debating on whether or not he should be an even bigger favorite. So Dvorak might be a fourth bet for me, but we'll see what happens. Moving on to the next fight, we got Felicia Spencer taking on Norma Dumont. Man, Felicia Spencer, her original matchup was that Danielle Wolf chick, the pro boxer who was on Contender Series. Dear Lord, it's great that fight's not happening because that shit shouldn't even have been sanctioned. Like, made no sense to me. This Danielle Wolf chick she's complete and utter garbage. She's a washed up boxer who looked terrible on Contender Series, arguably lost that fight too to a complete bum. Oh my God, Felicia Spencer would have just absolutely mauled her on the ground. I'm telling you right now, she would have looked like a minus fucking 10,000 in that fight. Like it was free money, but it wasn't going to be playable anyway. I think Felicia was like minus 1,000, so it's not like I was the only one thinking this way. Either way, this is a tougher matchup. Norma Dumont's actually a real fighter. Looked better against Ashley Evans Smith last time too, but like that was at bantamweight. She missed weight. Like just not a good look. Like she's too big for bantamweight and too small for featherweight. It's not a good look. I think she really could make bantamweight if she had better discipline, but I'm no expert. I don't know. She just absolutely doesn't seem like a featherweight to me, and I think that's going to be a problem here against Felicia Spencer, who's she's a strong girl, probably a real feather. I mean, absolutely, Felicia Spencer's a real featherweight. I mean, she's gone out here and fucking handled 6-footers like it's nothing. Like, say what you want about Megan Anderson, but she did her damn job in that fight. Megan Anderson's way fucking bigger and stronger than Norma Dumont. Megan Anderson fucking starched Norma Dumont. So yeah, I think Felicia Spencer comes in here and does the damn thing. There's a lot of money coming in on Felicia Spencer, and I agree. My only problem is if Norma Dumont made some improvements and happens to be able to stuff the takedowns, I think Norma Dumont's a way better striker. So this is just a really interesting matchup, but I gotta think Felicia Spencer is able to impose her game here and take down Norma and dominate her on the ground, maybe even snatch a rear naked choke. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Felicia Spencer. I'm gonna say she takes the neck in round 2, rear naked choke. So moving on to the next one, Justin Tafa taking on Jared Vanderaa. Yeah, Tafa, what is he, a minus 170 now? Minus 175, Vanderaa plus 150. So I was actually debating all week about betting Jared Vanderaa just because, I mean, if y'all have been watching me for a while, I always look to fade Justin Tafa. I don't think he's good at all. In fact, I've made some good money betting against him, but I just don't think I can do it here, even though I completely get the Vanderaa bets. Like Justin Tafa hasn't been tested wrestling wise at all in the UFC yet. And like you could see glimpses in the regional of his ground game being atrocious. Now, granted, he could have made improvements, but I think Jared Vanderaa 1000% is going to test his wrestling or grappling. But just the problem for me here is I think Justin Tafa is so much fucking better on the feet, like way better. Like I'm high on Carlos Felipe's boxing. Like I think that guy's not a bad striker at all. Justin Tafa arguably beat him in that fight when they fought each other last. It was a pretty damn good fight. Justin Tafa's got some good striking. The Jorgen De Castro fight, that was a fluke. Let's be real here. He just I don't know. He got cocky for a second. He fucking ran in and Jorgen nailed him. I don't know what else you want me to say. Tafa's got good striking. Jared Vanderaa does not. Hunsucker was getting off on the striking against Jared Vanderaa. I've seen bum ass South Africans getting off on the feet against Jared Vanderaa. Justin Tafa is going to have a massive striking advantage here. I just think it's going to be tough for Jared Vanderaa to set up those takedowns. So I'm going to say Tafa knocks him out before Vanderaa is able to even get any of that part of his game going. So Justin Tafa round 1 KO. We'll get to the DraftKings side after this, but let me just say this is a great fucking fight for DraftKings. So moving on to the next one, I believe we got the co-main event. Yep, Yan Zhaonan. She's taking on Carla Esparza. Let me tell you guys about this one. So, again, if y'all have been watching me for a number of years or follow me on Twitter, I have bet on Yan Zhaonan in every single one of her UFC fights, and I'm like 6-0 doing it. I'm not betting on Yan Zhaonan in this spot. So, the reason I'm not is just because I'm not going to force it if I don't like the line, and I don't like the line. I would like dog money on Yan Zhaonan here. I just think this is a really fucking tough test for her, man. It's not like I've seen her come out and stuff every single takedown. I've seen her get taken down by like fucking Kylan Curran and Angela Hill. And she's had some close fights. I mean, Carla Esparza has come out and shit on me so many times, guys. Like, I do not want to. I just don't want to get into it again. um, she can come out here and land takedowns on Yan Zhaonan, but there's not much to say here. It's a pretty fucking simple breakdown. Yan Zhaonan is way better on the feet, and Carla Esparza's got a huge wrestling advantage. It's just who can implement their game. It could be like the last one, totally, where I think the striker is just so much better on the feet that it's going to be hard for the wrestler to set up the takedowns. Could totally play out like that, and I think it will. I am going to come out here and pick Yan Zhaonan like I have every single time. I just don't like the line. I'd like dog money. I respect Carla way too much. Former champion. I mean, I could go on and on about her resume. She's serious. Like, even her boxing is coming along. Like, I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised when she lands some good shots on Yan Zhaonan on the feet. Like, this is probably going to be a really close fight, and the juice side is not where I want to be. So I get it. I get why you would want to bet Yan Zhaonan. I think she's rising to the top. I think she's serious. So I'm going to pick her, but I have a lot of respect for Carla. I'm passing. I know a lot of good bettors on Carla too, so I know a lot of good bettors on both sides. It's a really good fight, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. But I'm sitting back. I'm enjoying it. Good luck if you got money on it. Great fight. Moving on to the main event. This is another one where I'm not betting this one. It's just so hard for me to have a confident read. We got Cody Garbrandt, again, a former champion, taking on an up and comer. You got Rob Font. Although Rob Font isn't too much of an up and comer, he's been in the UFC for a while. This isn't his first rodeo. He's had a really really big fight like this before, and honestly, like he hasn't passed the big fight tests in the past. Like, he got that opportunity against the Sun Sao, got dominated. I bet a Sun Sao in that fight. Who was the other one? Pedro Munoz. I didn't bet on that fight, but Munoz gave it to him pretty good, and he rocked Font on the feet too. And Font shot in on Pedro Munoz, who has the fucking one of the best guillotines. It's like, it's just a matter of, has Rob Font finally leveled up to the point where he can handle a top 5 guy? And it's not like, and I get why people are taking him here to, I would consider it an upset if he beat Cody Garbrandt, just based on Cody Garbrandt. He was the champion. Looked back to true form last fight. I forgot where I was going with this, but man, I'm just not quite sold that Rob Font's gotten to the level where he can beat a top 3 guy like this. I get why you would want to bet on him, just because Cody Garbrandt's chin, we've seen him knocked out, the fight IQ, yada yada yada. I get it. It might just take one perfect punch from Font here. Totally. The line is rightfully close. Man, I kind of lean Cody Garbrandt here, man. Like, if Cody Garbrandt would be coming off a loss going into this fight, I'd be a lot more skeptical for sure. But the fact that he came back with a big win last time against a longtime top 10 guy, got his confidence back, looks in fucking amazing shape. The fact that I've seen Rob Font get this spot multiple times before and not just lose, he got smoked. I kind of want to pick Cody, and I'm going to go with Cody here. I feel like more people are picking Rob Font, so I'm going to go against the grain on this one. I'm going to go with Cody Garbrandt. I feel like he should be a rightful favorite. I can't bet him. Maybe if it were to hit dog money again, I still don't know if I would bet him, but like plus 120, I would think about that for sure. But I'm gonna go with Cody Garbrandt. He's a dog on DraftKings, so that's something I'll be playing around with for sure in some lineups. So let's get right into DraftKings. So let me pull up the slate here. This is a really good slate for DraftKings. So most expensive on the expensive fighter on the slate is Damir Ismagulov, 9,500. I know I just picked him to win by finish, so you would think I want to play him. And don't get me wrong, I'll have a couple Damir Ismagulov lineups, but to pay 9,500 on him on a consistent basis when making multiple lineups, that's just tough. Paying that much for a guy that is a decision machine, let's be honest. So yeah, I'll have a couple Damir Ismagulov lineups, but I think you gotta chill with the 9,500. I think Bruno Silva, 9,300. That's somebody who's most likely getting a finish, in my opinion, with Bruno Silva. So much rather would play him at 9,300. In fact, I'm going to have Bruno Silva and shit. I haven't made my lineups yet, but I would totally guess I'll have more than 70% Bruno Silva. Very confident he gets a finish. I think it's a complete mismatch. Ben Rothwell, 9,200. I mean, I think anytime you get a heavyweight, you got to play a heavyweight, right? Just because the knockout percentage is so high. He's minus 350 in the fight, so there's a very good chance he's going to win. And there's a good chance he's going to win by knockout. So let's see what the line actually is on Ben Rothwell to win by knockout or in the distance. Because, Ben Rothwell can snatch a sub. Ben Rothwell wins inside the distance. Minus 125. So the books say Ben Rothwell will finish this fight over 50% of the time. So anytime the books are saying someone finishes over 50% of the time, you got to have him in a few lineups. So Ben Rothwell, I do think he's an all right DraftKings play. Culibao, 9,100. I mean, I haven't really thought about too much if I think he's going to finish this guy or go to decision with this guy. I got a little bit more research to do. I mean, I'll have a couple Culibao lineups. Tafa 9,000. Yeah, if he wins, I think he's smoking Bandera on the feet, so that's a good DraftKings play. Hermansson versus Edmund. I mean, Edmund and Hermansson, I think either one of those guys scores high. I mean, Edmund usually wins by first round knockout. Even scored a lot when he went to decision against Darren Stewart. And then Jack Hermansson. I mean, Jack Hermansson has put up some just ridiculous scores with his grappling approach. So I'll be playing both sides on that one. Vorak and Piva. I'm going to be staying away from that fight, especially from the Vorak side, just because paying 8,800 on a guy that's probably going to win a decision, not my favorite thing to do. Felicia Spencer, 8,700. Would much rather play her just because she has that very high grappling upside. So some of Felicia Spencer's wins, she's gotten 109 points and 120 points. That's what's up. That's what you want. Zhaonan, 8,600. Not really interested in Zhaonan on DraftKings. I mean, let's look at some of her scores. I mean, 72, 78, 90, 58, 70. So she scored pretty high against Sori Kondo and Carolina, but Sori Kondo's a soccer mom and Carolina was completely washed up. So I don't see her putting up a score like that against Carla, who is a top 5 chick. Bill Algeo, I think he has the ability to break Hamos late. I think he can put up a lot of points with his volume. 8,500, I think Algeo is a good play. Hadjovic, I mean, I'm picking him to stiffen Yancey round 2, so 8,400. I love Damir Hadjovic. Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt. I think you got to play both sides for sure. I think both guys are super live for a knockout. And then Court McGee versus Claudio Silva is your closest lined fight on DraftKings this week. I mean, I feel like Claudio Silva is probably the better DraftKings play. He's got more of a finish upside. Although Court has never been submitted before, he is kind of washed up, and Claudio could finish him with a sub. Or he could even hurt Court with something big on the feet, whether it be a kick, a huge punch. Court, if he wins, it's probably going to be a decision, so I don't think that's worth playing on DraftKings. So I would say Claudio Silva is the better DraftKings play, even though my pick is Court. So that's going to do it for me, guys. I appreciate you watching. I'm super excited for this card. So again, my 3 bets, my big one, 4 units on Bruno Silva to win inside the distance plus 125, 3 units on Bill Algeo plus or minus 120, and then 3 units on Jesus, my brain's fried now. Damir Hadjovic, minus 120. So Hadjovic, Algio, and Bruno inside the distance. Let's fucking go. Follow me on Twitter. I might have another bet. We'll see what happens. But appreciate it, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. That's it. See ya.